I asked you guys on Instagram what you wanted me to talk about in these videos, and overwhelmingly the response was how to get more paying clients, how to get more people to hire you for what it is that you do. So today, I'm gonna go over every single detail, everything I know and think about how to get paying clients, how to get yourself in front of more people, and how to continually level up your career and get higher and higher quality clients. You're gonna have to stick around all the way to the end though. Let's go. Okay, so we gotta talk about some principles, some mindsets that you have to wrap your head around before we get into this. Okay, so the first thing that we gotta talk about is a mindset that I want you guys to get in. You have to understand where clients are looking at you from in order to get them to hire you. Now, there's one thing that is the single most important thing in getting people to hire you, and that is trust. They have to trust you as a person, one, that you're not gonna run off with their money, obviously. They have to trust that you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, and they have to trust that you're gonna do a good job. These three levels of trust are 100% necessary in order for someone to hire you. So how do you gain their trust in these ways? I think the most important is previous work. They have to trust that you're gonna do a good job, which means they have to have heard other things that you've worked on and like those other things that you've worked on enough to hire you. So we're gonna get back to how to build that resume here in a second. The other two parts of the trust, that you're not gonna run off with their money, well, just be a good person, build that reputation. There's really no shortcut to this. Always do what you say you're gonna do, and never, ever burn anybody. Never scam anybody, never take people's money and not complete the project. Now, word of mouth will get around over time that you're reliable, you're responsible, and that you're good to work with, but we're more on that in a minute. This is a complicated subject to break down, actually. So how do you get previous work to show off? Well, you either have to create the music yourself, or you have to convince people to hire you, or you have to do it for free. Now, in my opinion, in the very beginning, we're talking ground level here, no one's ever paid you for anything. In the very beginning, I think you should do all three simultaneously. So you're gonna make music yourself that you can show off. You're gonna constantly be trying to convince people to hire you, usually people locally that you actually know. And if you can't convince them to pay you money, then you offer to do it for free. I kinda can't tell you guys how many projects I've worked on for free in the earlier years of my career. However, you only want to do free work if you are positive it's going to get you something. Now, the most important thing that it can possibly get you is a better sounding song to show off than you've ever had before. The song has to be better, and their ability to perform the song in studio has to be better than anything else that you've done previously. And if this potential client can't give you both of those things, then it's not worth doing that work for free. Ask me how I know. Now, the other thing that I want to make really clear here is that a lot of people, myself included, I thought that doing free work for these people would show them what I was capable of, and then they would eventually turn into paying clients. That has never happened once. I have never had a single client that I did something for free turn into a paying client down the road. So I just want to set these expectations. The only reason you're doing free work is as a resume builder. You can say that you worked with these people, you can have a better sounding song and better sounding performances to show off to other new potential clients. But the idea that you're gonna do something for free for someone and then they may hire you, that's not a thing. That's not the goal when working for free. Now, as you build your portfolio and you build the amount of work, your library of work that you have to show off, then you should be more and more selective about who you work for free for. Now, at the same time, all this building of the library, your resume, so to speak, will help you get paying clients along the way. But I think it's also always important to pay attention to when is it appropriate to do free work. And I follow that principle guiding through most of my career until I stopped doing free work altogether. Is it going to give me something better to show off than I've ever had before? And if it is, then it might be worth doing for free. Before we get on to the next thing, there are links down below for all the gear that I use. Those links go to Sweetwater, and Sweetwater is sponsoring this video. You can get just about any piece of gear, musical gear that you ever need from Sweetwater. And I've been doing that for a long time. So you can check out all the gear that I use in the links down below. And if you use any one of those links to purchase anything you ever need, it helps this channel out and helps me keep making videos like this. So I very much appreciate it. Thank you, Sweetwater, for sponsoring this video. Okay, now let's talk about leveling up. How do you get higher quality clients? How do you continue to climb the musical ladder, so to speak? Now, this pretty much works the same way in all facets of music, whether you're producing, whether you're a session player, whether you're mixing, whether you're a songwriter. Like, this kind of all works exactly the same way. And how it works is, in the very beginning, you're gonna be working with artists that are of the same level that you are in your production or your mixing career or whatever. They're gonna be newer beginning level artists, and you want to just absolutely crush that project. You wanna make it sound as good as you can possibly make it sound, and you're gonna invest a lot of time in this in the beginning years. Probably a lot more time than you're actually getting paid for, because you want it to be the best thing ever. And you're gonna do all of that, let's say at like a D level. For a long time, you're gonna be working with nothing but D level artists. And every once in a while, whether it's from a project that you did for free, or whether it's a D-level artist that just happens to be really talented and you also did a really good job, every once in a while, you're gonna have something to show that might be a C-level. And then you're gonna start trying to go after C-level clients. And if you can make that jump up to the C-level, then you're gonna keep working, you wanna try to continue working with all C-level clients. And then every once in a while, and we're talking this might be actual years in between these level jumps. But then every once in a while, maybe it's because of a project you did for free, maybe it's because of a C-level artist that's just really talented and you capitalized on that and did a really, really great job, then you have something to show for your work that can get you B-level clients. And then you're gonna live at that B level for years. I mean, I would consider myself at the B level currently. I'm not working on nothing but A-list artists. Not every song I work on is on the radio or on the charts. I'm definitely in the B or B minus category. And even I myself am currently working on making that jump up to the A level. So where I'm at right now, I don't really do any free work anymore, but where I'm at right now, it's just constantly working with these B level artists, B and C level artists, and every once in a while, eventually something's gonna come along that's gonna pop off hard enough and be successful enough that will allow me to move up to the A level. Now, jumping these levels takes relentless upward pressure. You have to constantly be fighting to raise the roof on your situation, to constantly be fighting to like get that next level, whether it's from a talent perspective of the artist or from the success level of the artist, or hopefully both. But you have to constantly be fighting to work with more and more successful people. If you take a break from this, you will stop climbing the ladder, because the opportunities almost never come just because. You have to force these opportunities to happen. You have to kick the doors of opportunity off the hinges yourself. So that's kind of the level system of how you like grow. But the next thing that people don't really understand is how much work you actually need in order to stay busy, in order to pay your bills with this. So I would like you to think about what it is that you do musically. And I would like you to think about how much time that thing that you do takes. Well, I'm gonna use mixing for an example. Let's say I mix one song a day. And let's say that I want to work 5 days a week. So I need 5 songs a week to mix. And let's say that all of my clients, I'm gonna have to do some math on this. Let's say that all of my clients are going to release, for the ease of the math, let's say 2 songs per year, 2 singles per year. So if I wanna mix 5 songs a week and all of my clients are only releasing 2 songs a year, 5 times 52 weeks in the year, that's 260 songs a year divided by 2. That means I need 130 clients to hire me to mix. Now, I would like you to break this down in whatever you think this ratio looks like for you and for exactly what it is that you do. Maybe you're only a producer, maybe it takes you 2, 3, 4 days a week to produce a song, and then you need 52 songs per year, and then maybe those clients are doing 3 songs per year. If all of your clients are repeat and all of them are doing 3 songs per year, you know, then you need less clients. But what I want you to think about, how many clients does it actually take in order for you to stay booked for the whole year? And then once you have that number, that super rough number, how many people do you have to know so So that way, the small percentage of those people that will hire you is actually enough to keep you busy all year. This is arguably the hardest part about going full-time in music. So for me personally, I need to know a couple thousand people in order to actually have enough of them hire me to actually stay busy. That was really kind of the minimum. Once I was in front of a couple thousand people consistently, often. We're gonna talk about social media and the personal relationship side of things. But it wasn't until I was in front of a couple thousand people on a regular basis that I was completely booked all the time. So run those numbers for yourself. Like really, like write them down. Write those time frames down, do the math, and get a number in your head for how many people you have to know. Now, how do you get those people to hire you? Here's my strategy. There's not any one way to do this, but here's how I've done it, and it has been very, very successful for me. First, coffee, network. I want a face-to-face relationship with people. I want to have coffee with every single person who I'd like to work with, all of them, every single one of them. Now, in this coffee meeting, I'm not trying to sell myself to them. I just want to create some trust, like we talked about earlier. I just want to create a relationship. I want them to know who I am. I want to know who they are, because maybe I don't even want to work with them after I sit down and talk with them. But I want some rapport going there between us. I'm not pitching them on my services. I'm not giving them rates and quotes and timeframes unless they ask. Of course, if they ask, I will happily divulge all of that information. I just want to be their friend. And here's the goal. I want them to know who I am, and I want them to know what I do, and I want them to like what I do. And then whenever the time comes, however far away that is, that they need someone that does what I do, I want to be the first person that pops in their mind. They need a song mixed? Colt. Colt's a great mixer. I want to work with Colt. That's my goal with all of this stuff. So how do I accomplish that goal? Well, the first part is coffee, is many face-to-face relationships as I can possibly cultivate. And then after that, it's posting super high quality content on social media. I make sure we are following each other. I make sure I'm commenting and liking their posts. I'm always in front of their face. I'm constantly posting about the music that I'm working on, whether it's, Insta Reels of like me mixing or like boomerangs of me in the studio with people, whatever it may be. I'm constantly posting things that I'm actually working on. And my goal with that first face-to-face meeting and with them seeing all of my social media content, I want to be in front of their face every day, every 2 days, every 3 days, however often I can pull it off. I want to be in front of their face constantly, and I want them to be reminded of what I do constantly. So that way, when the time comes that they need someone that does what I do, I'm the first name that pops in their head. This is a marathon, not a sprint. I think the longest one, I think I had coffee with an artist and it took 5 years before they hired me once. I think that's the longest, 5 years. And when they finally sent me the deposit for their song that we worked on, I just was thinking, I'm like, how long has it been since I've known them? How long has it been since we had that first coffee meeting? 5 years. And so I want to encourage you that this is like a snowball thing. As long as you're good at what you do, as long as you're reliable, as long as you're trustworthy, and as long as you're decent at promoting what you do, this will get easier the more years you're doing it, but it can take years, actually years, to really get moving. There are 2 more things that I want to cover. First is that you should constantly have a playlist of what you have worked on. There's a playlist in the description below this video, along with all the Sweetwater links. That is an Apple Music playlist of a bunch of stuff that I've worked on. I update this playlist every couple months with latest stuff that I've worked on or stuff that I'm most proud of. That playlist is there so that way when someone is interested in me, but they would like to hear more of what I've done, I don't want to send them my website. I don't want them to have to get on a computer, go to my website. I don't want to have to constantly be updating playlists on my website. It's just an Apple Music playlist. I send them a single link and they can hear 30 songs that I've worked on recently. That's pop and metal and country and rock country and all of the genres that I work on. So if you want to hear stuff that I've worked on, check that link down below. And the last and final thing is make sure your studio looks as nice as you can possibly make it look. Spend effort, spend time making your studio look as pro as you can make it. It doesn't matter if you have a laptop in your bedroom, or if you have a studio like mine, or if you have a studio like Blackbird. You want to spend time making sure that it looks as good as it can possibly look for a couple reasons. One, this is part of how you stay in front of people's face on social media. This is how you entice them and remind them that you exist. If every time they see a photo of your space, they're like, man, that's a cool looking studio. I'd like to work in that studio. That's the goal. But also in this day and age of social media content creation, these artists really need to create content for themselves too. And the cooler your studio looks, the better they look when they're making their TikToks and their Insta stories and whatnot. And you might laugh at this, but that's important. It's important to the client. It's important to the success of the client, which means it should be important to you. I really hope that this helped you. I want every one of you to have a career in this if that's what you want. Thank you guys for watching. Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. If you have anything to add to this, I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.